Good. Okay. So we have our little Q&A today, and for those of you who haven't been on one since we've done one, Siobhan and I will be answering all your questions. And if anything pops up, whether it be on any questions that we're talking about, any more clarification you want on any of the questions that we're answering, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. And we'll come to the chat box. If you have any other random questions, write them down, and we'll slowly get to them all throughout the call. Now, a lot of your guys' questions were quite broad in terms of like we could literally talk for hours on each of those topics. So we're gonna give you like a little bit of a gist of each one. And then from there, if you have further questions, you want further clarification, like we could do a whole call on it. If you really want to delve deeper in it, we can give you some resources or reading material if you want to do your own research on it as well. Or we can, chat a lot about it on another call as well. So just so you know that they were a little bit vague in terms of we want to answer all the questions, but we don't have, 3 hours to do so. Look, we probably fucking could, us girls and our yapping.
Yeah.
But let's dive right in. So the first question was from Kelly, and I love this because understanding your body on a deeper degree is actually really, really freaking awesome. And I think Andrew Huberman talks about this quite a lot. I'll read the question. So, how does the gut affect our mood and emotions, essentially? So, how does it actually impact you? Because you probably hear all the time like your gut affects your brain sort of thing, which 100% it does. So I've got some notes here because I want to not butcher the words. And so basically, it's like think of it as like a highway from like your gut to your brain. There's literally like how your body talks to each other. As we know, everything is interconnected. So I want you to kind of think of like if you were to eat like a fuck ton of sugar or a fuck ton of like lollies, how like gross you feel inside. Then you feel lethargic and tired, and then mentally you're just like unmotivated and just like feeling shitty. It's because like that has not only affected your whole entire, not affected like the energy that you put in your body, but it's affected your whole entire body. And this is like basically your gut produces bacteria and it talks through like nerves, hormones, and the chemicals that your gut actually produces. So it's like it's like your own kind of nervous system, and it's called the enteric nervous system, which a lot of people actually refer to as your second brain. And I personally believe your gut is actually the main frame of your entire, like main control center of your entire body, not your brain, your fucking gut, because it tells you absolutely everything. So it's called the vagus nerve. That's that like complete highway through to your gut from your brain. And it's like literally a direct phone line, we like to call it. So if you are somebody that has like super high stress or your hormones are out of whack or like you have like any imbalances and things like that, the first place we go to is your gut. What are you putting in your body? How are you talking to yourself? What are the lifestyle factors that you're doing to actually create this? Because what you actually, I like the saying of like, yes, you are what you eat. You eat shit, you feel shit, like you become shit, right? Like, and as much as that sounds harsh, it's very fucking true because your body is essentially your resume. So how you treat your body, it will externally look. That is just the way that it portrays itself. When I was in Dubai, I drank for like 3 weekends in a row. I hadn't had a drink for like 3 years prior to, the start of this year. And my skin, as a lot of you may know, I have had cystic acne in the past. So my skin actually freaking blew up. It wasn't horrible, but it was like not what I liked. And I was like, oh, okay, this is from me drinking because, as we know, alcohol is not amazing for the gut. It kills the good and bad bacteria. So essentially, I noticed that it affected my skin quite a lot. So I put shit in my body, I put toxins in my body. It's trying to excrete from somewhere. For me, it was my skin. So knowing that what you put in your body will come out externally in one way or another, whether that's good or bad. So that's why we always talk about like the regularity in your nutrition supplements, as I kind of like touched in today in the group chat as well, especially with like our modern diet. I'm kind of going on so many tangents because I'm like, where am I taking this? This is a lot of information, but basically the thing is like with our modern diet, we're not quite getting the amount or the quality of nutrients that we want these days, just because mass production and obviously sugar and all the other things that we put in our body as well. So understanding that, supplements, I literally have all my freaking supplements right here in front of my desk so that I've remembered to take them. But basically, it helps support what you're, I guess, like malnourished in. So, for example, you may have seen me eating sardines on my story. I know no one, I've never prescribed a crime
Can't do
like
it.
that. Don't freak out, it's fine. It's like not that bad.
I no, I tried it. I saw you do it once and I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. I can't do
It's like, what did you have it with?
it.
Surely you didn't eat it out of a tin.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's not it. You can't do that. That's literally setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, fair.
Absolutely. That's why I'm like, okay, on toast, because then you blend the I'm not even gonna go into it
You
because
blend
everyone's
the
like, I'm
fish
not
into
even
the
gonna try it.
toast.
Don't even. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyways, so if you are not someone that eats like salmon 3 times a week or sardines 3 times a week, you need mine's at my table over there, but you need to be eating or sorry, taking omega 3s. So fatty fish is one of the best ways to get that in. A lot of people don't like seafood, so obviously supplementing with that. So understanding that like all these things are because we're not getting it through our diet, so we do need to supplement that. And as I mentioned, it's going to get you better mood, clearer thinking, calmer emotions, regular bowel systems, regular hormones, better energy, all that sort of stuff. So understanding that like if your gut is happy and healthy, then you're going to feel happy and healthy. If I'm bloated and I'm feeling unwell, mentally I'm feeling shit and I'm talking to myself shit. So it's just like goes hand in hand essentially. Like they are so connected. So that's why we're so big on what you put in your body is huge. Yes, it's like we're human. We want to have like, little sweet treats and things here and there. But first and foremost, to balance and regulate your hormones, to give your body the nourishment so you actually naturally don't have more cravings and you don't have those sugar crashes that tend to lead to, skin breakouts or irritability or just anything like any bloating or anything that's just like not good when it comes to like what happens when you eat food. It's like naturally it's going to be because something in your gut. So it's basically like, yeah, the two are like married together. It's like I was gonna say chalk and cheese, they're the complete opposites. But I guess like it is a very in-depth topic and like gut health is a freaking huge one and it is one that is like very personalized per person. But at the same time, it is like understanding your I guess like your symptoms that come out and then supporting your body based on that. And then it's kind of like, again, trial and error because unless you're doing a fecal kind of like a test, you don't really get to know what's actually fully going on inside that. And I'm not qualified to read like fecal matter and things like that that come up. That takes 20 fucking years um, in what do you call it? Uni. But at the same time, like I have done gut protocols myself because of the things that I've struggled with as well. And I'm well aware of like the symptoms and things like that. So if you are experiencing bloating, if you are experiencing symptoms and you just think they're normal, they're common. Fuck yeah, they're common, but they're not normal and they should not be happening. So if you are experiencing those, voice it, let us know. We want to talk about shit. We want to talk about your bowel movements. There is no TMI. Like tell us everything because like I said, fecal matter is one of the things that tell you absolutely everything you need to know about how your body is actually um working and functioning. So I hope that kind of answers the question. But it's a very long-winded answer. Kelly, do you feel like that helped to a degree? I think she's gone off to do her set. Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Passing it on to you, Chef.
Okay, next one was asked by Emma about navigating drinks in the silly season. So essentially, like, how do you enjoy alcohol without completely derailing or ruining your progress? Um, we've touched on this a couple of times just around food and also alcohol in our last couple of calls. But one of the main things that I would always ask going into an event is essentially that question of being like, what is worth it for me right now? And in general, this is like a pretty important question to ask with alcohol in general, whether it's the silly season or not, because when we kind of really deep like what alcohol is, we all know that it's not the best thing for us. And if we're drinking it in excess, there's never really a reason you're wanting to do that. In like we don't really get that much benefits out of it, especially because we know even if we do go into events, we drink in excess, the next morning you wake up and you feel like absolute shit. And then you kind of regret drinking in excess anyway. So we essentially want to basically, instead of going into events on autopilot, you want to catch yourself before you do these things and actually question yourself first. So ask yourself, what's worth it for me? Am I going in and do I just want to focus on the food aspect of this event? And maybe I'll put a little limit of like 2 glasses of wine. Set those kind of boundaries in your head for the all of the events that you're going to, and essentially ask that question. So how many drinks do I want to have? Is there a boundary or a limit that I actually want to set for myself? What is it that's actually worth it for me at this specific event? And then also just be really honest with yourself. And we don't have to drink at every single event that you go to. It is completely a choice for you whether you do drink or not. And because, especially during this season, there's so many different events going on, and most of them just, again, in like today's day and age, incorporate and include alcohol. Just because it's there does not mean that you have to drink it. So, another kind of part of asking yourself, is it worth it or not, is choosing the events and the specific events that you do want to drink, and then choosing ones that maybe you're just going to drink mocktails or soft drinks or just stick to water. Um, and then the kind of next thing I would say is that obviously, if you are choosing to drink, once you've kind of set those boundaries for yourself, is there's obviously options that we can choose, which are lower calories. So they're going to fit into your daily calories and your daily targets a lot easier than some other drinks. So generally, cocktails are like super, super high in calories just because they've got so many different ingredients in them. There's usually a lot of fruit juices and sugar syrups, which are just naturally high in sugar, which then is naturally high in calories. So things like vodka sodas or like any kind of spirits and sodas, seltzers, low cal beers, Prosecco is also like relatively low cal. It comes on the low cal end. So just making sure that you're choosing those drinks. If you are choosing to drink, choose the ones that align better with your goals and that actually mean that you're not going to just like over consume just for the sake of over consuming. Um, Another one for that kind of feeling of making sure that we are not waking up feeling like absolute crap the next day is take your time. Again, use your conscious thought in these events. Have a drink, enjoy it. Don't just like down it. Actually enjoy, sit with it. Like mindful eating, but mindful
Shotgun that
drinking.
shit.
Yeah,
Have
shots.
you seen the snorkels?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're doing it with everything now.
Back in my
Doing
18-year-old
snorkels.
days.
So back kind of like actually sit there, enjoy your drink, mindful drink, like we teach you to mindful eat. Do the same thing with your drink, savor it, actually enjoy it, and then have a glass of water. Alternate between your drinks and then having water. Hydrate between the two. Another thing is obviously alcohol is a natural, what is the word?
Like as in diuretic?
Yes,
Mm.
that word. I was gonna say diarrhea. I was like, no,
Yeah,
that's
I could do
definitely
the
not it.
same.
But yeah, it's same. Is a natural
Diuretic.
diuretic. Oh my gosh. Which means that we just naturally then want to keep drinking more liquid. So, and often what we then do is just reach straight for another alcoholic drink. So instead, again, catch yourself in that moment, and instead of just automatically ordering yourself a second alcoholic drink, have some water. Take your time with a glass of water, reassess, see whether it's then worth it for you to have another drink and go from there. Um, but yeah, I think the main thing with alcohol is just set yourself limits or boundaries before you even enter the event. Have that boundary in your head for yourself. And I know that boundaries are a lot easier said than sometimes sticking to, but just like with anything, it comes with practice. And the more that you do it, the easier it becomes to do.
Mhm.
I think that's all my yapping for that one.
I want to touch on that because I know
Mm,
some people are like, well, I just want to get drunk. That
mm,
is fine. Hydrate yourself. obviously, if you are drinking lots of drinks, then, it might be like one day out of the month where you do want to do that. And I understand 100%, like it's just life. It's just part of like, letting loose and whatnot. Biggest thing is obviously hydrate yourself. The next day, make sure that you do have like, good food set in stone, good food that you actually like. If it's a homemade pizza or homemade burgers, because you do want those greasy types of foods, but make it homemade so that you're not tempted to, go order Uber Eats and things like that. So again, preparation is absolutely key here. And then also know that you are going to feel fucking shit. So have a code with yourself that it's like, okay, the next day I will go up, I will go for a walk. You're probably not going to want to train. You're probably not going to want to walk. You're probably not going to want to do anything, but get up, go for a walk, move your body. You will work that out of your system a lot faster if you're eating nourishing food rather than feeling shit and letting it drag on. Also, know that week you're going to feel very unmotivated. You're going to eat everything against what you know you should be, but all the things you need to be doing are the things that you probably don't want to get you back into that. I know how unmotivated I am, brain fog, how just like lethargic and shitty feeling mentally, how my mental health declines when I am drinking. So just be aware those are things that do happen and put things into place to make sure that you set yourself up for success and have a literally just like I want to do the whole shake hands with yourself, a deal with yourself, to like literally, if I'm going to do this, I need to support my recovery later. So just on that, because I know people do want to drink and it is normal. So pick your events, like Sheb said. Now, in terms of managing stress and emotions around the silly season, I kind of just like roughly guesstimated what this kind of question meant. It is a stressful time of year. It is full on. And I think one of the biggest things is setting your boundaries. Boundaries are absolutely everything. And it's hard because it's family, it's loved ones. And when you are doing something that is for you and you are wanting to grow, a lot of people, the mirror comes up and a lot of people are like, oh, well, just have one or just do this. It's fine. And at the end of the day, like, if you want to be average, then follow what every average person is doing. If the people telling you these things don't have the results you want, I'm sorry, but don't listen to it. I know it's family, and yes, you have to have respect, which is why I also go out of that and go, hey, I'm going to have separate conversations with people so that you set those expectations going into these events. Give your friend a call, give your mom a call, give your grandma a call and say, hey, I'm doing something, for myself, and this is something that I'd really appreciate your understanding and support on. It is already making me feel so much better, and I would appreciate if, you actually supported me. If I don't want to have something, please understand that, it's a choice that I'm wanting to make, and don't take it personally, but please support me. And people take it way better rather than you rocking up and being like, no, I'm not having that. They're like, oh, come on, just do it. But if you have those one-on-one conversations with people and put it on them and ask for them to help and respect you and set those boundaries, people are going to respect you tenfold. And also, because it is stressful, because it is like a full-on season, the first thing to go is training, nutrition, your walks, your journaling, all those things that actually ground you. But you need to be putting these non-negotiables in place to stay grounded, right? Whether that be you're not going to the gym, but you're having that time to yourself and you're actually going on your walks to make sure that you have that space to clear your head and to breathe and to come back to you. Because when you're not filling your cup, you're going to be more stressed, more emotional, and more chaotic. So, making sure you move your body intentionally every single day for that emotional regulation, even if it's a stretch in the sun, like absolutely just something. And at the end of the day, through this season, one of the biggest things is try not to focus on being perfect and doing what you have done this whole entire year. It's literally just showing up with everything you can that week. And if you don't get to tick every single box, don't make yourself wrong, guilty, or bad for it. That is not what we want to do, because doing that is just going to put you in a more stressed and more anxious state. We want to go, cool, I showed up and I actually did this, 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 and this, and focus on aiming for better choices every single time you step into an event, every single time you go somewhere. And the thing with like boundaries as well is like it's hard to bring them in once they weren't there in the first place. But once they're there, the relationship with yourself and with other people actually can get stronger. And you don't resent people, people start to respect you more. And it is something, again, practice makes perfect, right? It's hard to do, but you've got to back yourself. And if anything comes up and you have a conversation with like a family member or something, and you want to talk it out with us, like we're more than happy to help you with that. Because I have had my fair share of having to put boundaries in place, and yes, losing a lot of people. But one of the biggest things is like sometimes like those ugly discussions can create stronger connections as well. So also, if someone upsets you as well, give yourself space. Just be like, hey, I'm not actually in the right mindset to actually address this conversation right now. Can I please just like, don't even ask for permission. Just be like, I'm just going to sit on this and I'm going to get back to you because I want to come from a place of understanding, not reacting right now. So that is like one of the biggest things. And like everything, so many people react to everything that happens to them. The best tool and the best thing that you can learn to do in everything in life, in food, in drinking, in any conversation or conflict or anything, is pause, breathe, reflect, and then go and do XYZ, whatever you're going to do. You're going to have a much better outcome than being like, angry or getting in an argumentative conversation or something with someone as well. So focusing on, what you actually need and grounding yourself and understanding that, people aren't used to you setting those boundaries and that's okay, but it's your responsibility to set them in place. And something that I learned from Holly, you would know this, a girlfriend of mine is the wheel of consent. And I'd highly recommend, I'd love to do a full call on this at a later date, but the wheel of consent, have a look into it. But it is very big on like, if you allow people to cross your boundaries, that is your responsibility. You did not set that boundary. And easier said than done, I know, but it's like you've got to take responsibility and go, hey, that was me for crossing my boundary and letting them say that or do that or XYZ, and you have to take responsibility. So make sure you do practice those boundaries. If you need help with it, please, please, please let us know.
Yeah, I feel like you smashed that because you answered like two questions in the space of one.
Oh,
You like
true. Hannah
combined
and
two of
Sammy
the
comment.
questions together and just did an overall
Wow, I
one.
really did.
How to be time efficient.
Wow, okay. Yeah, well, maybe I'll just like continue on that. Actually no, Chev, you fill in the gaps with the second question.
Well, yeah, the only other thing I was going to add is to be honest, I feel like I'm probably the worst person to have this conversation with because I have always been and I will always be very much in the mindset that this is my life and your opinions on my life really don't matter because you're not living it. You're not doing the things that I'm doing. You're not doing the things that I want to do. So it doesn't impact you really, and your opinions then don't impact me. So I do think that I'm not a very good person to answer this question because I have always just been that kind of like, yeah, you can have your opinions, but like I'm just gonna still go and do what I want to do anyway. But I think it is a really good reminder just that this is literally your life. It's no one else's. So they can have their opinions, they can say what they want to, they can try and peer pressure you to drink or to eat certain things or question why you're doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, none of them are in your shoes, none of them are in your life, and they don't have to understand why you're doing what you're doing because it's not their life. So just make sure that when you do have those difficult conversations as well, just like hold your head up high, knowing that you're literally making these choices out of prioritizing you, your mental and your physical well-being. And there is nothing to ever question about that. Like that is always an amazing thing to be doing for yourself.
I love that. And I think that comes from a place of confidence and
Mm.
believing you are capable. So that's what I love about, this work is like, yes, it's like, yeah, you change your physique, you feel better, all the things, but it's like you actually create this like backing of yourself to be like, I'm capable, I'm able, and what I actually have to say and what I actually do matters. So,
Mhm.
yeah, like you said, you have your opinion and that's all good and well, but I'm not going to take everything personally into heart. And that comes with time and proving to yourself that, you do have the capacity to show up for yourself and do the things that actually allow you to get to where you want to be. So, putting it in practice at this time of year, hard, but so worth it. Just like anything, most things that, require effort are so worth that effort on the other side of once you've achieved it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
I
you go on this one because I went yapping. Yeah.
Staying consistent while traveling slash holidays. I feel like, to be honest, a lot of the things that I'm about to say, we've already said for other things, because I feel like in terms of like the city season in general, and also traveling and going on holiday, having lots of events, it's very similar things that we basically always want to be prioritizing. And it's the kind of main goal is we're not aiming for perfection. We're not aiming to have that kind of expectation that all of our routines and all of our habits are going to be as they normally are. And instead, it's shifting it to having those few anchor habits, having those few non-negotiables every day that no matter where you are, whether you're at home, whether you're traveling, what you're doing, you know that you can tick off. So there's usually a couple of things that are always in our control. So things like how many steps you get done are usually always in our control. How much water you drink, usually your sleep. Um, and to an extent, even though if you're on holiday, getting three main meals in, prioritizing eating main meals rather than snacking is usually in your control. So I would say definitely just set those non-negotiables for yourself before you go. And it's kind of a little thing that you can have in your head, like a little accomplishment tick boxes that you're like, as long as I get these two or three things done each day on my holiday, I'm good. And then I can just go and enjoy my holiday. I don't have to worry about it. I know that I've still ticked off things that are benefiting my goals and my health. And then I can just go and not worry about it and live my best life on holiday. And just having those few simple things will mean that you are actually still prioritizing your well-being, which means that you will actually still feel really good on holiday. Because again, we've definitely all had those experiences when we've gone on holiday. We've just like eaten everything. We've lounged around by the pool all day, every day, not moved. And then you just feel like crap when you come back. Whereas when we have these few things that we can tick off that we're like, yeah, I know I'm hydrated. I've done a lot of movement in the day just from steps, which usually happens more when we're on holiday anyway, because you're like experiencing everything. You're traveling to new places, so you often just naturally get more steps. One of my clients literally messaged me today and she was like, I did 40,000 steps today. I was like, what? Where are you walking to?
God.
I was like, yeah, okay, that one's ticked
Christ.
off for the day.
That's like the next 4 days I can be an absolute slog now.
Yeah,
What?
she's like, does that mean I get some days off? It's like, no.
No.
Do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Just challenge yourself, fuck it.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah. But no, just like those few things that you can tick off and just be like, I've done my bit for my goals and my health, and now I can just go and enjoy myself. When it comes to nutrition, it obviously becomes a little bit harder to like track your food or to know exactly what you're having when you're traveling, but the same kind of things apply. Make sure that you are prioritizing having main meals so that your body is consistently getting fueled throughout the day. When you are having those main meals, do your best at high protein, just creating balanced meals for yourself. Or if you're going out to restaurants, look at the menu and choose things that look like they're a balanced meal. So they have high protein, they've got carbs, they've got a source of fat and some micronutrients, because that's kind of your best way to know that even though you can't track your food, even though you might not be able to control absolutely everything that you're eating, you know that your body is still getting the nutrients that it needs if you are giving yourself balanced meals consistently throughout the day. And definitely focus on the main meals rather than snacking or grazing on random foods all throughout the day, because that's where it can often become really difficult to actually understand whether you're still hungry, whether you're full, how much you've actually eaten throughout the day, because you're just eating all day, every day. Um, with training, I have two very different approaches here, depending on what type of holiday you're on, also depending on what your goals are. A lot of the time, I will literally say to people, if you don't feel like training, don't train. We go on holidays to go on holidays, to enjoy ourselves, to relax, you're gonna probably be getting a lot of movement in anyway from your steps. But if training is really inconvenient, like if you're not going to a place that has a gym, don't stress about it. It's in the grand scheme of things. If you are going away for 1, 2 weeks, it's not going to reverse any of your progress. You are literally probably giving your body a really nice amount of rest, de-stressing, and you're going to come back more motivated to jump back into your training, probably feeling stronger than you were before because you'll be fully recovered. Um, so depending on what your holiday is and what your current goals are, I would say my answer to training changes. But most of the time, I say go and enjoy your holiday, and then we can come back and train hard when you get back. Um, but yeah, I think in terms of traveling in general, it really just is about remembering that it's the whole process is about consistency, not perfection. And this is a blip of the time in your whole journey. And if you get a couple of things ticked off each day, that's amazing. And then we come back and we just jump back into our normal routines, feeling rejuvenated and refreshed and relaxed.
Hell yeah. And I think like also if you think about it, if you just go, fuck it, I'm gonna ignore all my goals right in this period of time, it's like you could be like 0% or negative 20% because you're like, doing the wrong things on purpose because you're like giving yourself that permission to go AWOL. But if you show up with 50, 60%, imagine that over the next 6 weeks, how much more that's going to compound than 0% or minus 20 to 50%. Like, it is so fine if you're not seeing the incredible amount of progress that, you may see throughout lower periods and seasons and less events and stuff like that. But just you owe it to yourself to show up for you as well. Like, at the end of the day, if you're not, like, I genuinely love like going on holidays and not rushing out of the gym and rushing and, having to spend an hour and get out and get back to work. It's like it's the nicest thing to be able to slow down and go to the gym and talk to people and socialize. But that's something I enjoy doing and I live and breathe it. If that's not something you enjoy doing, choose a movement that you actually do. You want to go play beach volleyball or cricket with the family or something like that, by all means. Like, but get yourself moving because you owe it to yourself and your body to do that. And it can be fully rested and recovered. And by the time you come back, just like Chef said, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, you're so ready to go because you missed the gym, right? So sometimes it's the best thing you can do is having a break, just like from your boyfriend, you miss them. It's like the best thing that you can possibly do. Um, and then I think it kind of like blends in. So tips to stay aligned and avoid blowouts during the events and the holidays. Again, like going in with a plan is always like the best thing, but I think I actually mentioned this to Kel today. It's like if you've got like 7 events over the next, however many weeks over this season, and let's just say 4 out of those 7, you are controlled, you are mindful, and you are really good. And the other, you may have gone a little bit overboard. That is way fucking better than last year where you just let yourself free reign absolutely everything. So that is still progress. So don't discredit that. It's like, yeah, you might have one where you go a little bit overboard. It's fine. Get back on track. Every time you demonize yourself for doing it and being like, oh, I just went and spiraled and everything, and then you let that run into another day, another week, another month, you're only keeping yourself stuck and playing victim to the fact that you made a little fuck up. We're human. We're gonna fuck up all the time. That is okay. But understanding that it's like, cool, 4 of those 7 events, you absolutely slayed it, or you were a bit more moderate than you usually are, and then the others you weren't. And then next year, or even Easter time, or around your birthday events and things like that, you get to put it in practice again. But it's giving yourself that responsibility and, trusting yourself to put that in practice. And it's not like I have to be perfect. That perfectionism mindset absolutely ruins everything. So get rid of that. We're not here to be perfect. You will never be perfect. I am never perfect. Chev is never perfect. The best bodybuilders in the world are never perfect. And you don't see that because it's all highlight reels on social media. But at the end of the day, it's also like give yourself the credit and show yourself like, hey, I'm doing better than I was. And that's all that matters. 1% better every single day. So I guess that kind of like wraps up all our it was a very different topic,
Yeah,
but I
we
love
went
it. I
everywhere.
absolutely love it. But again, if you guys like have any more questions on this, you've got events coming up, like share it with us, let us know. Like we want to help you navigate it. And a lot of the times, it's sometimes just like having that, I like to call us your besties in your back pocket, but having us there to just be like reassure you, like, no, it's all good. Like just keep doing what you're doing. Like who cares? Like that is what it is. Move on. Let's keep focusing on what we can control, not what's out of our control now. So making sure that like, if you do have those moments where mentally you feel like you want to spiral, lean on us, ask for help. That's what we're here for. And if we don't know you're struggling, we can't help. So please, please, please take advantage of that. Yes? Yes. Okay, good. Chev, do you want to say anything else?
No, thank you for being here. I had a great time. This was
Yeah,
good.
me
I
too.
love these Q&As.
Me too. I'm obsessed.
They're so much fun.
Yeah.
I actually think we could just yap for like hours though.
Oh, genuinely, I reckon. Like you just can't like I could have spoken on like every topic for like 45 to
Yeah,
an hour.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, like thank you for spending your time here on a Wednesday night, making the time. Like it shows that you truly care, you truly want to do better. Give yourself credit for that because it means a lot. But thank you for showing up and let's absolutely slay the rest of the week, hey? Much love, my gorgeous
Bye.
galleys. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.